what to do when hurting me helps me. It's not even the weight of sin that's heavy on him. He's praying that God would have this cup pass, because it is, I never want to be separate from my daddy. In the next one, Luke chapter 23, and it is that he's on the cross between two thieves, but it comes to a point in time where it is, he's ready. I done forgave folk that I should have let die. I done let folk insult me that I should have stood up for myself. I done been in wars, been slapped, been hit, been insulted, been defamed, been blasphemed against, when it is I could have called down a host of angels to stop it. But I'm going to let you hurt me so that I can help you, Jesus said. And he looks up to heaven and he says, Father, he has to say it twice because he can't find them. Can I encourage you on the day that God hates seeing you in distress? God hates seeing you sad. God hates seeing you going through stuff. And so you have to give word of caution to people that are connected to you that would do you any kind of way. Is that I know I don't really look like much on this side, but can I tell you on today that it is, I have a Father that loves me. And because God loves me, is that he said, I don't even want you touching them. Don't even talk on them bad. Don't even say anything bad about mine anointed. It's that God loves you so much. I understand why it is some people go through the hard times that they go through, and they are subjected to some of the things that God would subject them to, because somewhere along the line they touched a child of God. You have to be careful. You have to be careful of who you pin into the cross in this season. You got to be careful of folk you bad mouthing in this season. You got to be careful when it is God will put you in a place to lift up, and instead of trying to lift them up, you begin crucifying folk. I understand that. I know that God is all knowing. So he knows he's going to get up from the dead. He knows this is not going to take him out. He knows this is but a test, but still it's too hard for God to look at. Nails in your hands and in your feet. And I know that's not what killed you, but it's too hard to look at what it is you're going through. I know you're not in a place where it is that you can define and decide inside of your spiritual thinking that this is a child of God that I need to handle with care. God said, woe unto him who would betray me. It says that the sun would go away, that the moon wouldn't even give its light, that stars would fall. Consequently, on this day, the veil in the temple tore in half. This was just at the point that it hurts me to see you going through hurt. And I tell you, when you become a child of God, when it is you understand that no matter what I do, no matter what position I make myself in, no matter what place I put myself in, no matter what sin is on me, my God, when I cry out to my daddy, God answers. He moves some stuff. I don't know about these folk that would be like, prayer don't work anymore and you got to do this and do that. Can I tell you something on today? When it is you call on him, my God, he's never too far away. Is that we find Jesus on the cross, trying to find out, why am I being subjected to the separation between me and my Father? There's too much sin on him for him to be in his presence. Can I tell you on today, if you did not know, that sin separates. It is darkness in a light room don't exist. It is good behind bad intentions don't exist. It is motion in a motionless place don't exist. It is at this moment, it is impossible to be in the presence of God. So he'll leave you alone and let you get yourself together before it is he comes into your presence and consume you. But it still hurts me to look at him hurting. So God makes the decision, I need to turn around. And it is that Jesus makes up in his mind. He says, I would rather give it up than it is I sit here in subjection to being separate from the Father. He says he calls out for a drink, and He says, Father, into your hands I commend my spirit. I give up. I can't fight this fight no more. I can't be in a place where I'm separate from you. I can't go further along in life when I cannot connect to God. Anybody ever in the room been in a place like that before, where it is the place God allows you to be makes you further from him? But if you ever need resounding testimony to know that all things work together for the good of them that love the Lord. So if you love him, even though you may be in a dark place, hear me now, even though you may be in a dark place, God will allow the darkness to bring you out into more light. It is he had to go through death, hell, and the grave in order to receive the keys, not for his behalf, not because of anything he did, but because I am his child who he sacrificed himself for. God sits on the other end of the table and decides he's going to come up with a settlement that it is he would win his adopted children back. And the devil looks at him and says, there's nothing going to be good enough that I'd give him back to you except for your only son. I know this isn't in the Bible. This is my story. It is that God wouldn't take a minute, wouldn't take a moment, wouldn't take a second breath. It's that it is before the devil could even get all the answers out of his mouth, that God already agreed, sign his name to the deed, would sign it to the contract, and believe on today that he did it just for you and he did it just for me. So it would hurt him to see Jesus in a hurtful place. What is though it's temporary, it still hurts. The pain of what you're going through right now is only temporary, I know. But that don't mean it don't hurt. I know that I'm not subjected to live like this forever. I know we're not subjected to this kind of injustice, this kind of violence, this kind of mind manipulation forever. These kind of distractions forever. My God, but it still hurts. And believe you me, when those moments where you find yourself where you cannot find God, believe that God feels it. That he stands in a position to help you, but in helping you, it would hurt you more in the end. So God has to let you go through some stuff so that you'll learn how not to put yourself in relationships like that again. God will let you go through a hurtful place and not help you in it so that you can learn why not to trust certain people again, why not to give certain folks stuff again, why not to put yourself in predicaments like that again. You have to be hurt in order to be helped in the end. So there's my son, has to go to school. I have to leave. I have to walk away. Whole ride on the car back, I'm emotional. I get a phone call and she's like, he's fine. He calmed down. He's playing with the rest of the kids. He is okay now. Can I tell you on today that it is that when Jesus would yell to his Father, it's finished. That was his phone call from earth or back to heaven to let God know it's done. They're fine. Everything's going to work out in their favor. That it is God is moving on your behalf to let you know on today, as serve of confirmation. Does anybody need a sign on the room on today? Here's your sign. God says you will be okay. Everything is going to work out for your favor. It's going to work out for your good. Know that it may not feel good while you're going through it, but you have to trust the testing in the process. Is that no test God would ever put on you is meant, is formed, is developed to take you out. It is that for the trying of your faith, build this patience to wait on the Lord to deliver you out of it in the end. I push you to a place on the day where it is you can believe God again, where you can trust your Father again. What is when you find yourself in situations that are too hard, can I tell you on today, it is God just waits for you to call on him. What then can separate you from the love of God? Can neither life nor death nor principalities nor heaven nor hell, God says, when it is you need God to perform, God is always showing up. He's just waiting on you to call on him. Listen, I push you into that prosperous place on today where it is that the favor of God is going to shine on your behalf. That on this faithful Friday, may God make his favor shine all over your life on today.